Hi, I'm Daisy Reed, and on this week's LuxeGirl Show, I'm joined by Eliza Batten, Olivia Miller, and Winnie Malcolm for another episode of the LuxeGirl Group Chat. Plus, we have a mega Mermaid Halloween makeup tutorial you won't want to miss. And if you're in need of some new autumn footwear, we're giving you the chance to win £500 to spend at Ducie London. Finally, we have all the high street autumn fashion inspo you need. But first, it's the LuxeGirl Group Chat, where we tackle your Ask Us Anything questions. So, first dilemma, should I move in with my sister? She's only a year below me and we do get on well. However, I find her friends annoying and when we argue, we argue.
Anyone got any sisters?
I have
Yes.
two.
Two is me too.
It's mad, isn't it? What would you do?
So I think it depends, like how bad is it when it's bad? Does it like impact your mental health? Can you live with it? You've already lived with your sister before at home, right?
Yeah,
So
true.
you know about each other, you know about all the different annoying things that you do. But I just think if those arguments are really, really bad and you think it might affect
Toxic arguments.
your actual relationship with your sister, is it better for you to live separately, maybe live close to each other and have play dates, but not in the same house?
I can say that I absolutely would never live with one of my sisters. I just think, especially at our age, it's just these formative years. You want to meet someone, you want to have different friends over, have your own identity. And I feel like my sister always, she's like got a lot of time on her hands. She'll get like involved in what I'm doing. And if I'm like bringing some, like she always does this to this, like she's 30 years old. And like I had a guy, Mummy, Stephanie's talking to this guy. And I'm like it's so annoying. So I think that I would just kind of maybe not move in, but see each other regularly. And if you're getting on better outside of the house, you're more likely to get on eventually if you decide to move in together. Just, yeah, I'd say that.
I've got a younger sister. We've recently got on a lot better than we used to. We do still argue like that, but I could now recently see us living together and actually cracking on. I think when you're both adults, you can become more sort of on an equal turf and friends. Whereas obviously in those sort of, what you said, formative years, I felt for me those years were teen years where we were both at completely different stages of our life.
True.
And now that she's at uni and we're just sort of more, we've got more in common now. The problem is, unlike with friends, you can say such evil things to your sister and come back from it.
Yeah.
Whereas with friends, you can't. So I think the reason that you have those arguments is because you can actually get away with them, because at the end of the day, you still love each other. Whereas the things, if you said what you said to your sister to your friend,
That would be
not
it.
sure they'd be your friend anymore.
Yeah.
I can totally relate. But I live with my younger brother. So I've done the whole living with girlfriends, loved it, but actually this is so much less stressful. There's no drama, but like you say, when we go at each other, we go at each other.
Really?
But then, he'll walk into the room and be like, oh, so what do you want to watch tonight? And then it's not that deep. Yeah, so I would say do it. Why not? If it doesn't work, like you say, do it for a year.
And yeah, I mean, I do know of older people in sort of middle-aged, sorry, does that mean older people? Sorry if I offend anyone. The ancient people in their middle ages. I do know of people that just don't ever speak to their siblings.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad.
I don't want that to be the
best friends.
cause. Yeah, and I wouldn't want, to move. If you know your limit, don't push it.
Yeah.
I belong to you. I belong to you. Do just what you want. You're the one I trust. And I always be around when I need some loving, baby. No one else. Yeah. Let you down. Take me to your heart.
I belong to you.
Take me to your soul.
Oh, we've got a text.
Yeah, sorry, I'm going for it.
Go on.
I've got £100 for autumn winter. What should I invest it in?
Good question.
Great question.
Boots.
Yeah.
100% boots. There's nothing worse, I think, than it being a rainy day and you've just got incorrect footwear.
What, are you talking about welly boots?
Like,
Your boots. I love your
nice
boots.
boots to wear in the rain.
just any boots. I mean, everyone loves the
Are
knee-highs.
those practical for the rain?
I mean, these are so practical.
So practical.
Yeah.
Everyone's got boots
Yeah,
on
a chunky
here.
boot. You can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with.
Yeah, I'd say chunky boots are more practical for the
Stiletto
rain.
boot, practical.
I would say a coat, but that's the thing that everyone sees first. You live in it, especially in England. You do actually live in it, so.
I was thinking maybe even a parka, which isn't really what I'd normally go for because I try to be a little bit more smart. But given our weather situation, a parka for like every day.
I do think this year will be the year I invest in a sort of anorak type thing.
Anorak.
What are they called? Like a
What one? The
raincoat. I do need like a rain. Yeah.
that you took on like D&B.
They're not one of
anorak.
those.
What, in Parsons Green? You're waltzing around in your anorak?
Like a smart
Waterproof.
trench. Yeah,
Like a
waterproof trench.
Yeah.
I think I need one of those.
Yeah,
Not
that's
an anorak.
Anorak.
Dug yourself out of that hole. I wouldn't invest in an anorak by £100.
Hi, I'm Winnie and I'm going to show you how to do a super easy mermaid look for Halloween on the beautiful LuxeGirl. So first off, I'm going to start off with the Studio Fix powder foundation. So I'm just going to kind of pop this all over the skin as a nice base. And because we're going to be putting some cool pearls and different things like that, I'm just going to bring it down the neck. So next up, we're going to try some bronzer with Misguided's Instant Vacay. So we want her to look like she's kind of been peeking out of the water from the sea, and when we put all of the green on, it's going to add a lovely contrast. Before we move on to the eyes, I've got this really cool Revolution Glow Fix spray, and this is a glowy finish because obviously she is a mermaid. We don't want it to look too matte. So I'm just going to add a little mist on her over here. Ooh. And don't forget to get the chest as well. So for the eyes, we're using all of the shades from the Blooming Lovely palette. This is a super pigmented palette with amazing colours. And I'm going to start off first with this bright green shade called Stem and pop it into the first part of LuxeGirl's eye. So for the outer corner, this lovely teal shade called Posy. So this one is super pigmented, so I'm just going to create like a little wing from LuxeGirl's eye, and we're going to deepen it up with another colour. So don't worry too much about it being perfect. So I'm just going to deepen the outer corner of LuxeGirl's eye with this shade called Water. It's just like a lovely deep blue colour. So I'm just going to go with my clean fluffy brush again and just kind of merge all of those colours together just so it looks a little bit neater. So we're just going to add the colour Posy to LuxeGirl's lid, and you can just press it into the centre just so the colour stays really nice and strong. We're going to add this shimmer shade called Stigma with our fingers We're going to go back in with the first brush that we used and basically do the same colours underneath the eye. Trace really close to the lid because we want to smoke it out. So the closer you start, the more you can smoke it out. And just to finish it off, we're going to go back in with the shade Water, just so it's a bit deeper underneath. So if you really want to add that extra wow factor, if you're going out at night time, you can add NYX's Glitter Brilliance. It's a really cool face and body glitter, so we're going to be putting it on her chest as well at the end. So for the final step, we're just going to add a tiny bit of highlight in the corner of LuxeGirl's eye, just to add that little bit of pop. So we're just going to add some mermaid scales with these pair of fishnet tights. So I'm just popping into that teal shade that we used first with a fluffy brush, and I'm just going to push this on to LuxeGirl's face. Now try not to move the tights around because it won't show up as much. And we're just going to pop in again with the slightly darker colour. So we're just going to add a mixture of the blue shadows onto LuxeGirl's collarbones, just to add a little bit of shade and to tie the look in together. So we're just going to finish off the base with a little bit of highlight onto LuxeGirl's collarbones and also her cheekbones, just to add a little bit of a pop. So we're going to add a little bit of lip gloss with NYX's Shine Loud in this really cool teal colour. So we're just going to pop a little bit more of that glitter into the centre of LuxeGirl's lips, just so it looks really, really glam and sparkly. To finish off the look, we're going to add a few little pearls to LuxeGirl's collarbones and cheekbones, just for that extra wow factor. So I'm just sticking the pearls on where I've glued. So this is LuxeGirl's final look, and I absolutely love it. I hope you guys recreate this one at home just in time for Halloween.
Ooh, so my boyfriend recently bumped into his ex and has now agreed to meet her for a coffee and catch up. They ended amicably, and we have been together 2 years. I am freaking out. Help.
Ooh. I'd be raging if my boyfriend wanted to go for coffee with his ex, but then if I wanted to, I'd be annoyed if he was like, no, you're not allowed.
Yeah.
I'm completely
I trust
with you.
myself, I don't trust him. That's what I'm trying to say.
I think I'd go through different stages. So at first I'd be like, hell no.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, okay, if the shoe is on the other foot, I wouldn't want to be restricted in any way.
Sure.
And actually I trust him, so I should let him go and have this conversation.
Yeah. I think if it ended really badly and like maybe they needed to talk through things, I would be a bit like, just leave it.
Because they've been together 2 years, so
Yeah.
they must be in love.
That's what I agree with. I think the amicable breakup is the key thing. I'm friendly with one of my exes. We're not best mates, but if I see him around, it's so nice to reminisce, have a catch up. You know, so much has changed. It doesn't mean I have an ounce of romantic feeling for him, but it's nice. You know, you grew up with that person for a bit, and it's nice to be able to revisit those memories and have a bit of banter.
Yeah.
So I think it's nice. Also, I remember actually a few years ago, my mum went and met up for a drink with one of her exes who she hadn't seen for 25 years.
Wow.
Oh
my dad
gosh.
was so chill about it.
I love that.
I was the one that wasn't chill. She didn't come home until after midnight. I was calling Dad, he was away, and I was going, she hasn't come home, and my dad was going, Eliza, chill out. She's just, they've got 25 years to catch up on, and I was freaking out. But anyway, if you're secure in your relationship,
I think that's the key thing though. What if you were a bit rocky, or you did have some reservations and maybe you didn't feel 100% about the relationship? Maybe there's other factors at play.
And I think the setting as well, maybe, I mean, if you're going out in the evening and he's like tarting himself up a bit, I'll be like, excuse me. Yeah, I'll be like, what's that smell?
Locking the door.
Little coffee, and like you're chilled and you're just out and in. I'll be like, well, you know what I mean, coming back in, and I'll be like, okay, fine, that's cool.
But I think it's normal. It's normal to be worried either way. I think.
yes, I think make plans for the evening.
Yes.
Out. I wouldn't sit at home.
Find my friends. Like,
Keep yourself distracted, like girls' night or something. Yeah.
My ex blocked me from that.
Really?
Really?
Find my friends, as in when we were going out. Obviously, since. Oh my god, something's just come back to me.
Go on.
No, this is actually to do with the same following on from the psychic story, he once went to meet his ex, who he went out with at school, and oh my God, it's just come back to me. It was in summer. We went for an ice cream in Hyde Park, and then he was meeting her after, and I had other plans. My plans fell through. They went off to meet up. I followed them through Hyde Park. Also, I'm allergic to grass, so by the time I met him up later, covered in rashes.
Oh, no.
I was hiking it through the fields, and then one point, they clearly just made a decision to turn around. They literally turned around. I've never jumped behind a tree so fast.
No.
I literally was like this behind the tree.
You're lying.
As they walked. No, swear on my
Oh
life.
my
I've
God.
got a picture of me. I took a selfie of me in amongst trees like this, going like this, sending it to my friend, being like, you couldn't guess what I'm doing.
Did he ever know?
Well, yes, because when I then met him up, I said, oh, yeah, I'm around the corner, I'll come meet you. He was like, why are you covered in rashes? I was honestly head to toe in red sort of grass, and
Like hives.
yes, like hives. And I just went, I'm so sorry, I've got to confess, I followed you.
What did he do?
See, this is where I just think he was a bit too into it. He was like, oh, okay, like he sort of
Didn't-
looked past it.
Oh my goodness.
Which is so weird. I would
Yeah.
have dumped my ass.
Oh yeah, I
My
would have been
ass,
like,
my ass.
my ass.
Ass is a funny word. Too posh to say ass, but arse sounds rubbish.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, I did do it. I did follow, and he went to meet his ex, and there was nothing to worry about.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll be back with another LuxeGirl show in 2 weeks filled with fashion, beauty and more chat.